I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review.
Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Uh, 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 Bring.
Pew 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 pew.
All
That's
kind of lasers
sweet. Those are for a sweep.
for
Pew
a
pew pew
sweep
pew.
of the Tampa Bay Rays. Welcome everybody to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman, and a sweep of the Rays, a sweep of a good team. I mean, it's a team, Greg, that's still very much in the mix for a playoff spot. They're very much in contention in the AL East. All three games very tension filled, very pressure packed, but the Dodgers get three in a row, and that feels good.
No, yeah, it feels great. And by the way, because how close it was for the Rays for their division, because they got swept and because the Yankees won four in a row, it's now a 3.5 game lead. So it's very much because of this series that they're back where they are. So the Rays are a good team, and we saw they had good pitching, they had pretty good defense. The Dodgers just kept doing everything they need to do, and were just a little bit better.
All right, so Yankee fans, say thank you if you're not
Yeah,
all
exactly.
if you're not
If
all somewhere stuck in Midtown Manhattan for the Knicks parade this
if you're
morning.
not hammered, if you're not falling over yourself, whatever is going on there. I mean, we
uh,
understand it, Marcus. We were just we've been at the last two parades,
we've
so
been
they get wild up there.
They do. I mean, if it's for a fan base that hasn't seen a championship in 53 years, I was telling you before the show, I'm getting pictures from a friend who flew back to New York specifically to be at the parade, and he's sending me pictures. And just from the photos that I'm seeing, most of the people in the crowd probably don't look old enough to have been alive the last time the Knicks won a championship. So,
And they're the ones going to go crazier than anything. So,
100%, they
but also
100% are.
I was talking to my boss in Bristol this morning, and he was saying that if remember too, not only are the Knicks there and all the New Yorkers, there's people from other countries for the World Cup, so it's going to be even bigger. And if they're anything like the Scottish people in Boston who just bought up all of the beer and actually took away like four different bars, they wiped clean of alcohol. It could get crazy in New York.
It could get crazy. Yeah, the Scots are there. I know are in Boston. The Brazilians have overtaken New York City, so
Right.
it could be wild. It could be absolute scenes there. We'll
Yes,
get
sir.
to the Dodgers though, because that's why we are here. But first, I want to let you know the Blue Review is powered by LAX. The LAX Skylink train is currently in testing, preparing to provide a direct, fast, and free connection to the new rental car center, the airport terminals, and the LA Metro. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. All right. Dodgers, a 5-4 winner over the Rays yesterday afternoon. So, first off, one, they win. Two, Greg, it was done by what? 2:33ish, something like that. So you had a whole afternoon,
Right.
evening to just relax and just do whatever you want to do. But um, let's start out with Shohei because the last couple of Shohei starts have not looked like what we were used to seeing at the start of the year. Look, I would say the last couple of starts are the kind of outings that most pitchers would take on any given day. Um, but we have become accustomed to bigger and better things from Shohei. Is this just kind of a hiccup from him, or are there things that we should be worried about now?
So, I mean, I think there's always going to be some little things to be worried about. First of all, you have the bloody
Yeah.
blister on his middle finger, and then you have the knee issue. But also, if you look at these last two starts, the two starts where he's giving up four runs in both those starts, um, they're all in one inning each. Everything else is just typical Shohei, just knocking dudes down, not giving up anything. But there's that one inning both times that he gives it up, and I think there's a couple different things here for me, Marcus. Is that what do you do with him? Because it's obviously not healthy. The knee, the finger, all things that are doing, but he's still pitching and performing well. But what do you do? I think there's two different options of things that you can do, or actually it's three. Do nothing. Just let him keep doing whatever he wants to do because that's what they're gonna do. Put him on the 15-day IL and just say, hey, get that knee cleared up, get that blister cleared up, let everything heal. You come back, you're all good. Or do you just skip a start of his? And that essentially gives him 2 weeks off from pitching, lets the finger heal. That doesn't heal the knee, but it heals the finger.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do seem very hesitant to want to put him on the IL. I don't know if this is because Shohei is insistent that he can work through this. I don't think it can be a concern about, the team falling apart, right? There's still enough talent on this team, and you've got a sizable lead in the division that I don't think that is really the concern. They do seem very hesitant about putting him on the injured list. I will say the thing that makes me sort of concerned is Dave Roberts saying the knee issue does not appear to be a long-term concern.
You know how that goes.
Right, which means he could be having ACL surgery any day now. So that's the only.
Hey, don't put that in the air. Come on now.
My bad.
What are we doing here?
I take it back. I take that part back.
Thank you. You can do it about Glass now. You don't do it about Shohei. There's levels to this, Marcus.
Yeah, so that makes me a little bit concerned, but it does seem. I guess my concern is that this does seem to be a thing that's going to linger, right? Because again, he does everything. You expect him to hit most days, and then he's going to pitch once a week. That there's so much stress put on his body that it does seem hard to get him to rest. So it feels like an IL stint is the only way to kind of force him to sit down and do it. But I don't know that he's going to be, that he will willingly do it. It does seem like a thing where the team's going to have to basically say, Shohei, look, I know you want to play. I know you want to help this team. For the good of the ball club, take the next 2 weeks off. That feels like the only way to get him to sit down.
No, I think you're right, and they're going to do whatever Shohei wants. I guess there's another way too. You have the All-Star break coming up. Now he's obviously going to play in the All-Star game but you can also do it strategically and I was talking to Jeff Spiegel about this on his Bleed Dodger Blue podcast. You can skip his last start before the All-Star break, and then you have the All-Star break, and then possibly even skip the start after that. And so you can still kind of get yourself healthy around. Can it wait till July 12th-ish? I don't know exactly what the dates are, but I know it's at the beginning. It's usually, let's see, what is it? Is it July 12th would be the last game. The All-Star game's on the 14th, and they wouldn't play again until, I believe, the 17th. So you get a little bit of extra time there. Is that something that works for you?
I mean, I think that's fine. I do. I think because I also think that Dave Roberts is not like they're not going to pitch Shohei in the All-Star game. I think they'll let him get an at-bat or two. But I don't think Dave Roberts wants to see him pitch in that All-Star game, knowing how much they are going to rely on him down the stretch. So I think that's fine. You have him skip that turn. He doesn't pitch in the All-Star game. He gets his 2 at-bats or whatever it is in that game. And then you get a couple more days off after that. And depending on how the rotation shakes out, it's going to be a solid 2 weeks between starts for him. So I think that's doable for sure. Yeah. Hopefully that also gets the blister right too. That's the other part of this thing.
Yeah, that's I think one of the more important parts is the blister, just getting that done because his hand's bleeding from that. He's sitting there, he's like sucking blood out of his finger, and he was like messing with it. And I don't understand we were talking to somebody about it, that it's a blister that should callus over. He shouldn't be dealing with it at that point. Was it Matthew Moreno? I don't know. It's somebody, but either way, those are concerns that are happening, and I think he needs to get cleared up. And because you have this big lead, and because you're 2 games up on the Braves now for the best record in all of baseball, you're back to being that team. You have some wiggle room because what's happening, being that team in June is great. If you've never won a World Series, and if you're the Chicago Cubs, that sounds and the Braves, you're like, oh, cool, yeah, we're the best team in baseball in June. That doesn't mean anything to us here. Like this, we just say that's what it should be. So being healthy for September, October is always the goal. And if this has any kind of lingering effects to that, they should do something about it, because the Cy Young, in my mind, totally gone.
I was going to ask you that. Is it a wrap now for the Cy Young for him?
Yeah. I don't think it's because of the start either. I think it's just because there's a lot of factors in it. These last 2 starts and giving up the 4 runs are going to cause him to drop a little bit. His ERA still is what, like 147.
He's at 147 right now. Yeah,
147. Yeah. But the fact is, I mean, even if he gets to 162 innings, which is exactly what you need, because you need 1 inning per game played, and those other guys are going to have 50, 60 more innings than him. They're already 25 innings up on him. That's like 8, 9 starts. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, it is a lot of games. And I mean, that's, again, the difference between pitching every 5th day, like most of these guys are, and Shohei pitching basically once a week, because the Dodgers are trying to sort of load manage him a little bit, understandably. So I think that, it was always going to be tough. I think here's the I say downside. I use that word advisedly when it comes to Shohei, because he has done so many amazing things that when he says he's going to do a thing, we're like, okay, well, he's just going to do that thing.
Right.
And so now here it is. We're running up on a thing that was always going to be really, really difficult to do, and we are seeing in real time why and how it is so difficult. And again, look, not that he can't have an amazing second half and that somebody like Christopher Sanchez or Jacob Mizorowski can't run into problems, but we are seeing the magnitude of what it is he's trying to do, especially as a two-way player. I think if Shohei decided he's just, hey, I'm just going to be a pitcher only this year, I think maybe he gets it. I think doing both things is really, really hard. And the consolation prize, Greg, is that he's probably going to win another MVP award.
Right.
Damn.
Oh, darn. which is 3 in a row in the National League, and I think 4 in a row overall, which ties him with Barry Bonds as the only guy that's ever done it before. So like, you're just still the most amazing player in baseball, and you're still going to be top 5 in that Cy Young voting, even though you're not winning the Cy Young. It's craziness of what he's able to do. But he also has a guy on his team who is going to be fighting him for that. If Mizorowski and Skeens and Sanchez all just kind of falter a little bit down the stretch, you got the guy Yoshinobu Yamamoto who just went and almost had a no-hitter and almost had a perfect game.
Right.
Like, he's back to being Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So,
tough times, man. It's tough. It's tough being a Dodger fan, I'll tell you that.
Hard out here for a Dodger fan.
It is. The other thing from last night, or yesterday afternoon, I guess I should say, game, Freddie Freeman ends up being the margin of difference. A 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th inning puts the Dodgers ahead. But I think a big part of the day has been what we have seen out of Kyle Tucker. I feel like I have to address this because
you specifically have to address it.
I have to address this because he is starting to look better at the plate. I'm looking right now. He has a 5-game on base streak. He's been on base actually in 7 of his last 8 games. You go back to that second game in Pittsburgh and 9 hits in 29 at bats. That's a 310 batting average and OPS of 842. The slug is okay. It's not necessarily great, but Greg, he's starting to look more disciplined at the plate. He's starting to look comfortable at the plate, and he's starting to do this in consecutive games, right? Because I mentioned it's actually a 5-game hitting streak. Hits in 7 of his last 8 games. So I'm not willing to officially take the villain title off of him yet, but he does seem to be working his way back toward the light.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. But see, this is the whole point of being a villain, Marcus. See, you're finally, it's all coming together for you. The point is, you're supposed to make them better. We don't want our villains to be bad. They're Dodgers. We want them all to be good. But we want them to. This is to get it under their ass and say, hey, you got to pick it up a little bit. You got to start playing better. And it worked. Your villain has started to work. Now, it's not there yet. He's still your villain, but he's going in the right direction. He's getting on base. He's walking more often. He's not swinging at bad pitches as often. And the way he talked about it is, like, I just have to do it day in and day out because I have a great game, and then I have 4 games that are bad. Then I have a great game, and then 2 games are bad. So it needs to be a repeatable action for him, and it's starting to become a repeatable action. Look, the guy was always going to figure it out. He was one of the best hitters in baseball for the last 4 or 5 years. So that was the whole reason that you gave him the $60 million. Now he still isn't showing you the power. He's still not showing you the defense at the higher level that we want him to be. But the fact is, he's starting to get that all back together, and it just took longer than anybody expected to. So you did a great job, Marcus. You picked the right villain.
Thank you.
You put him in got his headspace right. So well done. Good job on you.
I think my ring size is it's 10. In case anybody in the Dodger organization is listening, I'm accepting all donations at this point in case it turns things around. Yeah, the other part of this is the bullpen. Has held it together the last couple of days, especially after having that rough patch. But we saw it last night, 2 nights ago, in the 1-0 win, the bullpen locking it down. Last night, after Shohei left, the bullpen went the rest of the way. They went another 3 scoreless innings. Although Alex Vesia made us squirm a little bit. 3 walks, but he did lock it down. With the bullpen starting to kind of come back to itself right now.
It's the guys too that you were kind of worried about. I mean, it was Kyle Hurt was somebody you were worrying about so each of the last 3 games in the sweep against the Rays, the starter went 6 innings. And they had to get 3 innings of outs. It worked out perfectly that way, which that doesn't always happen that way. Kyle Hurt pitched very well in both of those games. In the first 2 games, Will Klein pitched very well in the first 2 games. Alex Vesia figured out. Jack Dreyer looked good yesterday.
Tanner Scott in the ballpark. Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing for him. Keep the ball in the ballpark, and he was a very good, reliable reliever. And then Tanner Scott was very good in his 2 saves. And it just was a really well-played series from this bullpen. And it makes you feel like, okay, they could just breathe a little bit. Edgardo Henriquez looked good too. So in big spots, everybody who came in got the job done, held a very feisty team in the Rays that just gets on base and can frustrate you. This was what the Brewers did last year, right? Like little hits, little cuts, 1,000 cuts, just put you on base and have speed and just move around the bases. And they didn't let him do it because this defense has been fantastic and the bullpen did a great job.
It feels like the Dodgers have sort of played 3 versions of the same team in their last few series, right? Because you have the Rays who, good pitching, very pesky. We're just going to try to put the ball in play and get on base and do that sort of thing. That was coming off a series against the White Sox that, again, sort of the same thing, right? They're going to pressure you in a lot of ways offensively. They're just not, they're not going to strike out a lot. They're going to try to take the extra base. They're going to force you to play defense and make some decisions. And that was coming off a series against, again, the Pirates, who, again, same sort of thing. It's like they've played the same team, 9-10 games in a row at this point, and overall successful against all of them. But it's been interesting to watch how teams are sort of attacking the Dodgers and forcing them to sort of play almost flawless baseball in all 3 phases. They got to score runs. They got to pitch well. They've got to play good defense. I think it's a really good stress test for October because there's a good chance you're going to run into a team like the Brewers. I'm looking. The Dodgers may be the only team in the NL West to make the playoffs, right?
Unless something really turns around for the Padres. I mean, they're
in the wild card spot right now.
Are they? Yeah. I mean,
as of now,
but they're in kind of a little bit of a free fall. They're 500 over the last 10 games, but they just lose a lot. So, I mean, yeah, they are in a spot, but the Nationals are tied with them. The Cubs are tied with them. The Diamondbacks are only half game back. The Pirates are only 1 game back. It's tight up there. So if the Padres don't figure something out, they're dropping out, and they have a negative run differential too. So do the Phillies, weirdly enough.
Yeah. I can't. The Phils are so up and down. Like they started bad, then they got hot for a little bit, then they kind of fell back a little bit.
They saw the Dodgers and they fell apart.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't really figure out the Phillies at this point. Other weirdness to yesterday, after Shohei was removed as a pitcher. I guess he wasn't officially removed as a pitcher at that point. I think they hadn't yet gone back on defense, but he pinch hit, which confused me. At that point, I was sort of doing something else. I think I had a World Cup game on at the same time. And so I look up and I see Miguel Rojas getting called back to the dugout, which I'm like, all right, sure. And next thing I know, I see Shohei with a bat walking to home plate. And I was like, I didn't really know what to say about it, so going back and kind of researching it, it wasn't a pinch hit appearance because he was the pitcher. The designated hitter hits for the pitcher. So Shohei, as the pitcher, or any pitcher, I guess, has the right to hit for himself at any point. But they did lose the DH at that point. Last night I was on with Andy Kamenetsky, and he sort of pointed out that it looked like Shohei didn't really want to be there. Swung at the very first pitch and grounded out. It was kind of like, my hand hurts, my knee is a little bit wonky. It was like he agreed to pinch or to hit for himself, and then it almost like immediately almost regretted the decision.
Yeah, no, a little bit it felt that way. But I mean, those are the rules, though. He can hit whenever he wants to for it. And then, yes, you're right. You just lose the DH. And then it could have caused a little bit of a problem if the game would have kept going. Yeah. If it went to extras, that would have been a problem. Otherwise, either a pitcher would have hit for themselves, which I don't know if we need to see Alex Vezia hitting for themselves, or because there had to been some double switches that would have to go on, or because after Mookie, it would have been like, okay, who goes into that spot? You maybe could have put Chucky Robinson there, but then that's your backup catcher. There was very few guys that were left around to be able to go. So luckily they got through it. But that's something that I think they're going to start when he's all healed up. They're going to start looking around with, like, when he doesn't hit, will they use him as a pinch hitter? I saw people online freaking out. How is this allowed? This is nonsense.
It's been allowed for the history of the designated hitter. As long as the DH has been around, this has been allowable. This is part of the rule.
The rules are them rules. You can freak out all you want because you don't like the Dodgers, but it's not where they didn't cheat anything there, guys.
No. They played within the rule. I mean, this could have been, years ago in the American League where I don't know, if the Red Sox wanted Roger Clemens to just hit for himself or something like that, that could have happened. They just would have had to have their pitcher hit. Part of me was secretly, it was a one-run game, so maybe not. But part of me was like, what happens? Like, can Engardo Henriquez swing a bat? Like, what happens if it gets to this?
If it came back to him?
Yeah, how would that have gone? So, there was part of me that was secretly kind of wanting to see it, but also part of me is like, it's a one-run game. Let's not fool around with it on a day like today.
Right, exactly.
So there's that. It does also make for an interesting box score because it looks like an old school NL box score where you've got three guys with P next to their name, right, in the box score. You don't see that too much.
Not very much anymore. There's just not a lot of. I mean, there are pinch hitters, obviously, but it just is not a typical thing anymore. The game's changed so much. I mean, we used to that's all it was. It was like you'd see it was like the indent and have another name there, and then the indent on the indent on the indent. Like it's just not. It just doesn't happen.
It does not happen much anymore. So yeah, that's that's just a little bit of weirdness. So the Dodgers are off today as they get ready to host the Orioles over the weekend. I'm sure you're looking forward to having another free evening to relax, have a cup of tea. Do whatever it is that you're going to do.
Would be amazing, except you and I are going to be busy. The day doesn't end for us.
It's true. That is true. Yeah, we will be in Anaheim at Angel Stadium as Travis Rogers gets ready to host the OC Sports Awards. So we will be live out there this afternoon. It'll be me, you, DeMarco Farr, Travis Rogers hanging out, and a cavalcade of stars. A really, really fun guest list as well. So be sure to check that out. From 3 to 6 this afternoon. You can either listen to it on radio, old school style, or check us out here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. This should be fun, though. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. There's going to be people like Karch Karai, AC Green, I think Ann Myers-Drysdale. Yeah. There's a few people that are going to be coming around talking. It's going to be a fun show for you guys today. I'm going to stay off to the side. I think this you guys and the guests are more than enough. I'm just going down to support.
Cool. Very cool. Well, looking forward to that. So be sure to check that out as well. Of course, off datum today. Back with you tomorrow. We'll find some things to chat about. I don't know. We may become knee surgeons or something like that, orthopedic surgeons. Note to Art Carino in the jersey. Probably not wearing. Oh, maybe I will wear the tricolor. Probably not for the event. Maybe I'll just throw it on at home. The Mexico jersey today. I know they don't play. Big day actually. It's Mexico versus South Korea, which is a huge day in Los Angeles. So,
massive day. Stay if you want to have fun, go to K-Town. If you don't want to, if you want to be away from all that, it's going to be wild. There's going to be places everywhere where this game is going to cause the city to explode. So it should be a lot of fun.
And as somebody who's a neutral observer, I just want to go and be part of the event and have some good food. That's my whole thing. But that should be absolutely a lot of fun. Anyway, that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out. Thanks to Tim and Junior for production assistance on it this morning. Back with you tomorrow. For Greg, I'm Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.